Welcome to the first episode of Fatherhood Fridays. Fatherhood Fridays is about how when you do things the right way, with God on your side, with the person He made for you, the happiness and joy you feel will be greater than anything you could have ever imagined. My own personal father-daughter and father-son relationships with them, and as their father, I have the privilege of loving them, molding them, guiding them, and nurturing them alongside their mom, and bringing them to adulthood, frankly, has been one of the greatest pleasures of my life. Proud father doesn't even come close to describing how I feel.
Brian, I need you to come closer. Come closer, sir. If I was not saved and sanctified, this is what I would tell your ass. Listen, you could be very happy with your current family now, but once you divorce her, and you will divorce her, because I can already smell, you're putting her through it too. When you divorce, I hope she takes every red single cent you own. And after she takes every nickel and dime you own, I hope the only way you are able to make money then is to sit in somebody's mall with a piano and a hat, collecting nickels and dimes, singing Back at One. Hey fam, listen, today I am not coming with the shade. I am not coming with the gossip, but today I'm coming with something real, something tragic. We all heard that the famous singer, Brian McKnight, his son, Niko McKnight, passed at the age of 32 from colon cancer. He was just not a name or Brian McKnight's son. This was a talented young man. He was a great musician.
This is how the story goes. Boy meets girl and right away he knows that she's the one he wants to be with. So he does everything he can to prove that he should be her man, and praise to God that she sees it.
A great guitar player. I even saw him once performing, and I'm so glad, years and years ago that I was able to see him and his brother performing together with their fathers. He's also a producer, a son, a brother, of course, and a fighter. He's been fighting cancer with, grace, humor, and he has been taking people as far as he was able to through his journey of cancer. There was even one point that he said the following.
All right, I told you guys, vlogs are back. But I think from a much cleaner perspective, I feel like if you go look back at those old videos that I was doing, they were coming from a place that was very, hey, it's all good. I just got diagnosed with cancer, but life moves on. Everything's fine. Everything's great. Like, it didn't faze me at all. And that is not sustainable. At least for me. I feel like I was coming from a place that just wasn't genuine. I'm freaking out every day, all day long. And there's no way for me to fake that. There's no way for me to overlook that. I hit the button, and then I'm just like, okay, I still gotta live my life. And it's like, yeah, regardless, life moves on, man. So now I'm coming from a place that's more like, bro, like, you do only have one life. So like, why are you gonna waste it living by, this fake reality? It's like, bro, you're going through it, man. So go through it. But show people you're going through it so maybe they can, learn how to go through it a little better.
So as you can tell, he was like, listen, I just have to give the real and the raw if I want to make impact on somebody else instead of keeping up this facade like I'm going through it, which really, it touched my heart. But the most beautiful thing to me is that through sharing glimpses of his journey battling cancer, he kept on perfecting his craft, sharing music and creating music through the pain, which I thought was so beautiful. That boy is talented. Now it's safe to say that there is this one battle that he never won, and that is the battle with his father, Brian McKnight. Now, Brian McKnight and his children, he has two other sons, which is Niko and Brian. He also has a daughter. And, there has been rumors that he has a bunch of other kids. These children he had with his ex-wife, Juliet. And I think her name is Juliet. If not, I'll put it on the screen. Forgive me. He took his sons under his wings. That's why I saw them performing, and he helped them with them starting up their music career.
Now, I've taken them everywhere I've gone for the last 2 years, have seen what's about to happen, and that's their CD to be released later on this year.
What can we expect from your album?
Everything, a lot of stuff, everything.
I'm the most proudest dad on the planet Earth.
We all know Brian McKnight. I think he's now like 54, 55 years old. Talented guy. To me, he has the voice of an angel. The way he sings, let me tell you, he pulled me through some heartaches. I know every song there is of this man. But He is quite the womanizer. We discovered that early on, and he separated from his wife. He traveled with his sons, but then, like I said, things started breaking up, especially when he met his new wife. So his new wife is called Leilani Mendoza, I think, but I think now it's Leilani McKnight. On December 2017 is when he proposed to her and asked her hand in marriage. She has 2 children from a previous relationship. If you ask Brian, they have a great relationship, and he kind of took on the role as their dad. He is always very clear that he stresses not their stepdad, no, their dad. Now, Unfiltered fan, what do you think about that? Because the first thing, when I hear something like this, is like, a man stepping up. I love that. Now, being their dad and saying, I'm not their stepdad, their dad, hold on now. Hold on. We didn't ask you all of that. That is not necessary to me. But it seemed to work for them. They now also have a cute son, and that is a whole nother story, because he named his son Brian McKnight Jr. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this whole hassle about this name. Now, what did our dear Brian do? He changed his own name so that Brian McKnight Jr., that little boy, can be, the first on his will and not his firstborn. Where do they do that at? I don't care what your child has done. I don't care. I don't care if they stole everything out of your closet. I don't care if they took your car and drove it in a ditch. Where do you know they do that at? He also, on the back of his new album, which is called Lullabies, he thought it would be a great idea to do a whole tribute to his newborn Brian McKnight Jr., which there was already a Brian McKnight Jr. No. And he said, but because this is my new son, Brian McKnight Jr., I changed he put the whole story on there. I'm going to let it sink in. All right. When we heard that things were kind of trouble in paradise when it comes to the first kids that he has and his new family, we were like, hold up. If you look at the family, guys, this is a tropical family. We were like, wait. So your black kids now have to go to the left, and you and your tropical surprise and her half white, her mixed kids, you welcome with open arms. Now, on social media, his son said the following about him feeling estranged and feeling abandoned by his dad. So I will put it up on the screen. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm going to read a part of it. And this message was from his son, Brian McKnight Jr. I can't imagine abandoning my children, man. It's hard not to imagine the psyche of a man who can truly trust, just turn his back on his actual blood and creations. It's mind-boggling to me. I don't think there is any situation that merits the way my father has chosen to treat my brother, my sisters. So you see, he has more than, I told you, one daughter, he has more. And his grandchildren, one of which being his firstborn son, who also bears our name. It's insane to me to have absolutely no empathy for the type of life he introduced us to, only to resent us for the life catching up with us. It breaks my heart, but not for myself, specifically for my siblings and my children. Now the message goes on, guys, but you can imagine when he said, you introduced a type of lifestyle to us. And that's what the whole thing stems from. Because I always say this, money is the root of all evil. He cut his children off at some point. And let me say this, I am not opposed of cutting your children off and letting them find their way. Because enabling your children only makes them more dependent. And then what if something ever happens to you? They wouldn't be able to fend for themselves. So I'm absolutely not opposed to at some point cutting your children off. But when I say cutting your children off, I don't mean all the way. I mean financially. Now, of course, the children are not going to like it. They are going to rebel. Some might go in fantastic careers and, you kind of force them in it. Some remain lazy and are like, nah, I don't. And that's their path. But to cut them off completely. Let me remind you guys on what Brian said about this whole abandonment message his son, Brian McKnight Jr., put on social media.
That I'm abandoning my children. And the reason why, I suppose, is because I have a new family. And I guess this stems from a post that I made the other day about my son, Jack, who I'm very proud of, which isn't to say I'm not and haven't been proud of my other children, but I was proud of this one for the things that he did that day. But we'll get back to that in a second. Anyone who knows me knows over the last 20 years, 30 years now, as a matter of fact, that I've been there for my children every step of the way until recently. And let's be clear, my two sons are 30 and 27, not 12, not 13, but 30 and 27. Now, my daughter's about to turn 18. That's another story I'll get to in a second. I've never missed a day of child support. I've always been there. I've always been there with advice, whether they took it or not. I have always been the sounding board, and I've always been the one that tried to help them achieve whatever dreams they were wanting to reach out for. I guess one of my only faults is that I gave my children everything that I didn't have in the hopes that they would appreciate it, because I know how much I would have appreciated it when I was their age. Entitling your children is probably one of the worst things you can do, and I know I am guilty of that. When I stopped doing that for them, BJ was 25 and Niko was 22. And it wasn't like I completely cut them off at that point. That happened much later. But I've been there. When I put them out of my house, I gave them an apartment for 2 years. And I said, guys, this is it. This is the time to grow up. I'm giving you 2 years. I'm going to pay for everything for 2 years, but you're going to have to work or do something, because at the end of those 2 years, that's going to be it. It's time to be men here, guys. At the end of those 2 years, they hadn't done any of it. And let's be clear, Leilani has been one of the only people who's been an advocate to keeping us together, to keeping us having a relationship, because she wants to have the nuclear family as much as I did. And they have spit in her face at every turn.
All right, so is there more to the story? Because I can already hear you, Debs, but you don't know the whole story. We are not in this family. What happens behind closed doors, I know. But the gist of it is, in the whole midst of this, he's still not talking to them. Now, if you cannot tell me that one of these children killed somebody in his new family, slapped someone up, beat their ass, I don't think there's no reason to say we got estranged. You know when you get estranged? You know when the children are very young and the mother keeps you away from the children and you don't see the children for 9 years and you're fighting. Some dads go through this. They do go through this. Then I say, okay, estranged. But you had all access. You were just very highly irritated at your kids. But then you were with this tropical surprise and you were like, no, it doesn't fit. And this is what just breaks my heart. When Brian McKnight made that public announcement, he kept antagonizing the children. I am sure the kids did some heinous things and said some ridiculous things. Yes, but these are emotions and these are still your children. So seeing your dad lead this life with his new family, kids that aren't even his, is crazy. Now I want to go to Niko. When it was announced to us that he had cancer, we were like, okay, this is the time that Brian needs to step up. And we were taking our eye and looking closely, focused on this man. Nothing happened. Now, when we were, actually asking about this, like, what's going on, Brian? Like he has cancer. He said this.
6 months ago, when we found out about this, we called him. We talked to him. We talked to his wife. She told us that she was all alone and handling everything all by herself. And it became quickly evident to us that since they didn't have insurance and they didn't have access to the proper doctors, naturally, and even though all this nonsense has been going on for years, we jumped into action. We asked for his medical reports. We received those medical reports. We hand-delivered them to the best specialists in the country. Those specialists outlined a plan of action that would give him the best fighting chance. We miraculously found a treatment facility near our home that put him at the top of the list, and then we put down a deposit to secure that place. We were arranging to fly the two of them to our home privately so that she could be with him and not have to work and really just focus on his treatment. And in the midst of that, we received a very hostile phone call from his mother saying, do not contact him. He does not need your help.
His wife came forward and said, lies. It doesn't even sound correct. He is a grown man. If you want to go to the hospital, you're his dad, you bust down the door and go to the hospital. You don't want to go. And for the people that really listen good, you heard him say his wife is the reason why this whole family, she wanted to keep them together, which lets me know You didn't even try. It was her. You devil. If I hear one piece of piano jingle on his burial or on his repast, Brian, I will take a flight. And I will personally come and beat your ass. I better not hear not one piece of piano jingle coming from your fingers. You better leave them alone now. It's too late for me. So while Niko was battling with cancer, the urge of him being with his dad was getting bigger and bigger. And at one point, Brian McKnight Jr. and Niko Jr. started getting to social media. What this narcissistic, devilish man Brian did do, and I'm so sad that I have to talk like this because now I can't even listen to your songs. And you know you're my go-to whenever I go through something. Hey, what he does do is he does respond to just everyday people, not his kids, not his son who has cancer. Oh, no, not that. But strange people on the internet, ooh, he has time. So let's look at, some of the things people said. This message, guys, just took the cake for me. It pierced through my heart. So someone said, the question is, how many sons do you have, Mr. Brian? Then look at what this beast said. Your guy. I have 3 sons. And then you're thinking, you're like, that's about right. Yeah. But look at the names. Jack, 22. Brian Jr., 2 years old. And Keoa Mateo. When I went to accumulate all these messages for y'all to put in the video, I got a new ball of anger brewing inside of me. I was like, no, let me not record this video right now because this is not the time. Because I'm going to straight go off. Brian, if I see your ass, you better not see me. All right. Then another one, and this one, you better get your tissue. When Niko was battling with cancer, this is what he also said, guys. Hey guys, Niko McKnight here. Even with a son battling cancer head on, he still continues to poke the bear and do the most painful ish. We get it, man. You don't like us. Why do you have to rub it in? We moved on. We got our sisters now. We're doing what we can to grow and learn. If you're so happy, why are you hell-bent on doing this? Go cosplay at The Rock with your wife in peace. If you keep playing with us, we'll air this ish out. We're spoiled. You're a criminal. If I tell you family dirt, hey! At some point, look at the message. Brian even called his son evil sin. Brian, listen to me. I hope every cupboard in your kitchen keeps rattling at night as long as you live. I hope Niko does this one thing for me. And I hope it drives you and Leilani crazy. And you could move houses after house after house. I beg him to keep rattling those cupboards. This is a special type of evil. Narcissist. To send messages like this, knowing your son has cancer. That's why I don't even have to know the bad the kids did. Just this alone. Brian. And if you think now that he's passed, you are going to live a happy, unhaunted life, you best believe. No. And I said it. Deb, how do you know that I know this? I'm speaking it into existence. Guys, you know my head. I wanna square up. This is not normal. Let me go drink some water. Then we also have good people in the world. And Niko's uncle came out with this following beautiful message.
So all day, I said to myself I wasn't going to post about this. And as the day wore on, I realized that how could I not post about this? This morning, I found out that my nephew, Niko McKnight, passed away. He'd been bravely battling cancer for the last 2 years or so. And I have a lot of feelings right now. I'm not going off a script or anything like that. I'm just gonna be raw with how I'm feeling. Niko was one of those amazing kids who was quirky and curious and ridiculously talented. Amazing singer, an amazing guitar player, had a great eye, was a photographer. And just one of those kids that, at least in my estimation, was somebody you always wanted to be around. So it really sucks that he's no longer with us. And I will also say, probably one of the reasons why I wasn't going to post about it is I post a lot of things, but I don't post a lot of really, really serious subject things, or certainly family things. And I wanted to post this about Niko, about his legacy, about how amazing he is, and not about what some of you may have heard about, the family drama that has existed for quite some time in our family. I'm not here to discuss that or to talk about how that happened or why it happened. This is not the time or the place, but what I will say is, in any situation, there's always at least three sides to a story. There's my side, your side, and the truth. And the truth a lot of times is somewhere in between. So here's the thing. I don't know exactly what was going on there. I know what I've seen, I know what I've heard from all parties involved, and I try not to judge. I just try to be as loving to each person as I can be, because apparently there's so much hurt going on, or was so much hurt going on, that a lot of things didn't get resolved. And again, I want to go back to Niko. I know that kid had a lot inside, a lot eating at him for a long, long, long time. That may have contributed to what happened with him. What I do know is he's out of pain now. And so I can rejoice in the fact that he no longer has to go through the chemo and the radiation and everything else. But I just want to uplift that young man and say we will see him again one day. I love you, Niko. Uncle Claude.
And I would like to say, dear Niko, rest in peace, my love. If it's up to me, you definitely deserved a better ending. You deserved a father that saw you and that acknowledged you, even if it was, while you were going through this horrific illness. We all hate cancer so much. I'm so sorry for you, my dear. May your music, my love, echo louder than the silence you were met with. And I hope you make beautiful music in heaven. Thank you, Niko, for all you have shared with us. And I hope you're having a blast in heaven, sweetheart. Let this be a lesson to all of us. Don't wait until it's too late. You see how this goes. Reach out, show up, to the people you love. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many, albums you sold or how well known you are or what type of career you have. At the end of the day, it's about who chose to love you and who you didn't. Thank you for watching, my loves. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.